Hello and welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of your mom's Pahdcast, the only podcast that's worth walking out on a date with one of Degrassi's coolest girls. I'm Avis.
And I'm Caroline.
And I'm producer Charlie.
Today we'll be talking about Degrassi Season 2, Episodes 3 and 4, Girls Just Want to Have Fun and Karma Chameleon. Polar bears are white, just like Gavin Mason. Snake and Spike play tonsil hockey, causing Emma much frustration. After decades of will they won't they, Snake and Spike finally decide that they will. Emma is less than thrilled by this new development, but rather than talk about her feelings, she opts to just be shitty towards her mom and sneak into the senior high 80s dance. Over in grade 9, Spinner and Jimmy's friendship hits a rocky road when Jimmy doesn't want to team up with Spin for the breakdancing competition, which is hilarious.
No, that's one of my favorite Degrassi lines is, I get it. Polar bears are white. I'm white. You're a racist.
It's like the conclusions. And I think it's funny that this whole thing is like sparked by Paige just saying, yeah, he can't dance. Like you need to stop that man from dancing and like in a duo with you.
Before we hop into the plot, can we talk about the fact for a second that, and they're not dating yet, but Paige and Spinner don't fucking like each other still.
Right.
Why did you have to humiliate sweet, precious baby Angel Terry at the dance for a guy that you do not like? Especially now when Jimmy's on the market.
It's like day 55 million. Yeah, and it's day like 563 of being like, these two people never liked each other. Why do they date?
Yeah.
Because Paige only dates up.
I still want to know what her definition of up is. What is your definition of up, young woman? Because
tall,
vertical,
She's very literal.
It's like, I think that's what motivates Jimmy's insecurity about being teamed up with Spinner is Paige. He would have been fine. Like they wouldn't have, won, which I think neither of them they cannot dance. No. Neither of them. I know that what Aubrey was channeling when he was doing the Michael Jackson dance, it was an effort. No. I mean, Marco obviously deserved that one with the super cool dance moves he was pulling off in the hallway.
Is that like how Adamo became main cast? Was they were like, we need a kid that can break dance, and they didn't really know what they were going to do with him otherwise? Because he's so completely not this character.
Not that I was gonna say, like, not like you look at him, it's like, this is not
real. Marco would never wear that outfit.
He would never wear that outfit, and he would never wear athletic sneakers. Like he's not that. He's not. No athleticism runs through that man's body. It's very weird. I wonder what the casting process looks like. Obviously they have to have a bunch of people in the background, so as to make it, these could be people that pop up and have their own storylines. And that is something that Degrassi Classic did too. You're like, oh, that random kid we've seen in the background for 3 episodes, now they get a storyline. But it's like, changing who Marco is, which they entirely do from this episode, is really funny. I wonder what decision was made to just scrap this version of Marco, which is very cringe.
And I mean, I don't think that he was, I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, we get way more Marco, like the actual Marco coming up. So
yes.
Because, he's normal in a couple episodes, so.
I would also like to know what the deal is. Why is the local radio station sponsoring the senior dance and giving away fucking whatever the ice skate or the hockey version of courtside seats is for a breakdancing competition? But Degrassi has that shit with some regularity, because
they do.
Later on, there's a battle of the bands where you can win a demo.
Yeah, the demo, their recording of their song.
So, I mean, go Raditch.
It gives an unrealistic. I mean, it's unrealistic, and the American high schools could never.
There's a lot going on in this episode where not a lot really happens. There's a dance happening.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley's friends still don't really like her except for Terry.
Yes, there's that brief setup for the next episode in the 2-pack where it's just like obviously Ashley is still on the outside and Terry is willingly staying with her. Like, note that willingly part because that comes into play. But yeah, I feel like the 80s dances are fun. I love their dances. You know, I feel like the even the daytime dance looked pretty fun.
Right? Like they wore like costumes.
Yes, like who just brought like they just somebody had like an extra backpack that day, like crammed full of like
Not
Liberty had
somebody,
to
like fucking
for
everybody.
because like I want to know, did she have to bring that like tulle skirt in a in a like a garment bag? Because like I wouldn't.
Right.
I don't know if that shit is fitting in your standard backpack, but everybody went all out for during the day school dance, so everybody looks
So
pretty great.
beautiful. And the night dance.
And the night dance. Oh yeah.
Did you guys have costume dances? Is that a Charlie, you went to regular high school.
Yeah, weirdly.
You
went to regular elementary school. I went to regular high school. No, we didn't do that. We did, wear a suit or a dress.
My junior prom was masquerade themed, so but like a lot of people didn't do it because they were like, we don't want to like we want to be able to wear makeup, and then if it's masquerade then we're wearing a mask the entire time. I was just
right.
So I got one of those masks that you hold on a stick. I know there's probably like a name for that that's fancy, but yeah, I just made my own and I held it up to my face and like pulled it away all night. But that's the closest to like a costume thing that my school ever had. Schools ever.
Yeah, I didn't have a costume dance until college, and it was
Degrassi,
actually also a masquerade dance.
Degrassi has a lot of costume, like they're not all costume dances, but like the year-end dances, I feel like we'll have to do an episode just on Degrassi dances at some point.
Yeah, retrospective, because I mean, those dances, a lot of shit typically goes down. And I mean, this dance isn't like a big exception. I think that obviously Emma's not, I don't think, I know because it's been stated, Emma's been pining after Craig. Like she's been on him, like fanning herself and like getting heart palpitations since.
But like Manny, it's obvious that Manny's into him too.
Yeah, Manny is definitely into him too. I think like there's even the moment where it's a little heartbreaking. I do feel for Emma when she's like, obviously excited. Craig might be asking her to dance and then he's being awkward and so he talks to her first and then it's like, so Manny. But I think it's a moment that their friendship, it's probably one of the highs of their friendship because there's no cattiness. And she's just like, yeah, you two go dance, I'll just stand here, break my heart breaking.
It's but then she's like storms off, whereas I feel like if he had asked Emma to dance, Manny would have stood there so excited, like she would have fully contain herself.
That's true. It's definitely like I'm not going to be outwardly salty sort of reaction, but I'm not going to stand here and watch this because I've got a lot of big feelings.
Right. Well, and she's already got all these big feelings because Spike and Snake are dating.
She can't take it anymore. Speaking of, I think that they are always like one of my favorite Degrassi couples, Snake and Spike. Mm-hmm. They are so they make sense. And going back to watch Degrassi Classic, I'm slightly disappointed that they do not get the tension that they deserve as a couple. They get some of it, but it's like not till way later. But the will they won't they is it, like I definitely enjoy the fact that we get them like making out and like fully into each other and stuff in this episode. And then
they're super cute.
They're very cute. Like Emma's
just gotta have a fit about it because
that's her teacher.
Yeah, well, and it's weird because it seems like she didn't really know him before he started Degrassi, which is a little weird to me because he and Spike seem so familiar still.
I was thinking that too. I feel like there's something that they don't like they didn't write or consider that we'd be thinking about it as much as we think about it. But like there have to be like this is not the first time they're seeing each other at the reunion. They've been familiar for years. They obviously live in a close proximity to each other. So I don't know. There's definitely a backstory there that maybe Emma just wasn't around. Maybe they spent time together. Like maybe they went bowling together or something. I don't know. But there's something that happened. Just they had a consistent friendship for, you know, for a
Can
while.
we write Snake and Spike like fan fiction for the time between School's Out and season 2 of Degrassi?
I actually, as someone who used to be a rather prolific fan fiction writer, I would totally do that because that's I, I'll have ideas, and obviously they're very smutty. Just fan fiction is full of smut, so obviously you got to give the girlies what they want. But yeah, like it's like obviously there was a relationship before, but the fact that she's so much like, oh, he's my teacher, like, no, but like obviously they've known each other for decades, Emma, like
Since before you were even fucking born.
like get over yourself, like this, he is not only your teacher.
I mean, I get it at the same time, though. I do get it. I have sympathy for it.
I have sympathy for it too. It's a complex issue.
But, like, Snake is being really fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
And Spike is honestly being really cool. Although, forgetting that you had plans with your daughter and her best friend is shitty.
She's sprung, and that's no excuse, but you know.
Inconsequential side note, can we talk about how Emma fucking hates the 80s? Because in When Doves Cry, either part 1 or part 2, she's talking to Craig about Spike's birthday, and he's like, how was the rest of the party? And she's like, fine, until the grown-ups put on an 80s jukebox, or like whatever it is she said.
Yeah.
But Emma hates the 80s.
She does, and then claims that she's dressed up like Cyndi Lauper, and I'm like, I really feel like you don't know what Cyndi Lauper looks like.
Yeah, there was definitely a lack of color.
Right, that's what I was like, where's the neon? Where's like the lace and like the stripes? I don't know. There could have been more of an effort made to like be sex kitten Cyndi Lauper, in my opinion.
Right. Emma does look really cute, though.
She is adorable, but she looks like a baby Spike. It's just like,
yeah,
that's exactly. And then, like, I think Manny's outfit is from Pretty in Pink.
Yeah. Let's save all that for the corner, though. Unless, are we ready to jump to segments? I feel like we've kind of...
I just wanted to say I love so much just the exchange between Manny and Emma, where Emma's like, "How do I look?" and Manny just goes, "Like your mom," and then holds up a picture of
yes,
like literally your mom.
I really love the weird way that Craig says, "Hey, Emma," when like she and Manny like bump into him and Sean in the hallway, and he's like, "Hey, Emma."
Yeah.
I've been noticing since Craig came onto the scene. I'm not even a main host, but his acting is weird. Starting out, I've seen some later Craig, and I'm just kind of like,
he's touted as like one of the best actors in the franchise, and I really think it's because of the subject matter that he has to deal with, and that makes him better. He's already a good actor, but he's a little awkward. He's supposed to be that like dreamy, like I don't think that's who Jake Epstein is.
He's good at the heavy shit,
right? Like he's good,
but
at
he's not good at like I'm just being a teenager.
Or even like a hot teenager. Like I'm supposed to be that guy that everybody's like, oh, Craig.
when he tries to act like a teenager, it really gives, how do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah. Yes. It's I mean that's one of my I'm glad that you brought up his acting, because I did comment on how it's like he's all over the place. He is sending scattered signals. Like he is not he is kind of flirting with Emma because he's looking at her a lot, and in 13-year-old girl that's flirting. Like that's
right.
like that's all I have to indicate that you don't find me like a piece of the wall or repulsive, is you're looking at me a lot.
It makes sense when you like rewatch it after you know how it all unfolds.
It does.
Because like, yeah, he's being awkward with Emma because it's easier to talk to Emma than Manny because he likes Manny and like all of that. I don't know. It's weird. It's cute. Choices are made. He says Emma really weirdly.
He does. Choices were made, but I actually think that their dance is very cute.
Do you remember your first like slow dance?
I do. I was in middle school, and
Same.
it was to. I feel like it was to.
I was in a cult.
I want to say Akon, but I might be wrong. But yes, it was very awkward, and it was not as glamorous as Craig and
Okay,
Manny's.
okay. I guess rather, do you remember like your first slow dance with like a person that you liked?
Okay, well that was a little bit better. Yes.
Because like my first slow dance was with this kid Danny, who was very nice, and I was always raised to be like nice to people and whatever. And he asked me to dance at every single dance throughout middle school, and I danced with him at every single one. 7th grade, we would stand like arm's length apart, and he would hold my forearm. And then
That's so awkward.
it was so awkward, and we would just like tilt back and forth. And then in 8th grade, he stepped his game up, and he would hold like right below my shoulder, but we still had like our arms outstretched. And he would sway back and forth, but every couple of sways, he would do a little hop. But my first slow dance with a boy I liked was with a boy named Chris. And yeah, that was a feeling. And Cassie like exudes that in that scene, and it's really cute.
It's very, very cute. And it's kind of like a good, not demonstration, but it's just like one of the good ways that Degrassi does a good, like, you never know what someone, like, what the next move is kind of thing. Because, I mean, could you have possibly predicted it? I don't know. Maybe if you're that, like, on point about the dynamics between tweens. But, like, personally, rewatching it every time, I'm like, oh, yeah, he does ask Manny to dance here. I forgot about
Right.
that.
No, because he's already got rapport with Emma. He hasn't really interacted with Manny.
Right.
They do a misdirect with that. Like they do set it up like
that it's Emma. Like it's the girl I like, but the girl's not gonna be there, and because they're just a dynamic duo. We don't know.
I love when they're jumping on the bed and Emma's like, "We are so gonna have fun tonight," and Manny goes, "We are so gonna see Craig tonight." Yes. And the way that they're both like looking at each other when they're hiding from Raditch with him, and like it's all just very well done. Like it didn't make me feel like a 13-year-old, but it reminded me of those feelings in a way that like like those days where like you ever just wake up in the morning and it smells like parachute day in 3rd grade gym class.
Yes, core memory.
It was like that.
Yeah, no, I definitely, it's like, this is a big, not a milestone, but it's like it's an important point. Like they, like the fact that we're actually seeing Manny's first slow dance, and like last year she was wearing little like scrunchies and carrying a Powerpuff Girls backpack, which, I mean, iconic. Like it's obviously she's growing up. Like these kids are, every year they are growing up, and it's so beautiful. It's so sweet.
It is. And that's the beauty of age appropriate casting, is that you do actually get to watch your characters grow up.
Yes, absolutely. Just to take it back to the Spinner and Jimmy B plot very briefly, I do think it's funny that they managed to get Marco on the screen and he never says a word, but he's got like this like macho sort of like these movements that are really like, yeah, like I took that home and I'm the big dog on campus. Like he never says a word.
Well, and it's funny though, because it's like you do see that, but then at the same time, like it feels like he's putting on airs. Like that's just not who this kid is.
Yeah, I had to write it down. Like he's like miming, like pantomiming through the end of it. But I feel like we didn't talk about them at the dance. Obviously, Jimmy has his clothes stolen. Spinner has his music stolen. So neither of them win. Marco ends up winning the What is it? A CD? It's
ringside tickets to a Toronto.
Oh, right. He's holding an envelope. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought he was holding a CD case, but no, he's holding an envelope and he like plucks it with his finger and he's like, yeah, like I got the tickets. And that is that's a really good prize for like a 9th grade dance, senior dance, whatever.
Well, and so the consequences are that Jimmy has to dance in his tight ass Michael Jackson clothes and ends up splitting his pants. I love that shot of him too.
Yeah, like from behind. Yeah.
And then you've got Spinner having to breakdance to like
some kind
What
of
was
bossa
that
nova.
music?
It was like smooth bossa nova music.
It was almost like you just hit the bossa nova rhythm button on a Casio
It
keyboard.
it was maybe exactly that. It might have just been that.
It was like they're very funny, you know, sabotages, but it's like the stakes are not high. I just think it sets up the fact that they do like they will sabotage each other, which comes into play. It does it happen, you know, consequence to there's that.
I have one thing I want to touch on because I don't think we got into it. A very special song played this episode.
Oh, Everybody Wants Something.
A very special song by a very special band called the Zit Remedy.
Oh, they did. And I mean,
Emma hates that song.
Snake couldn't wait to drop the needle on that number.
He was so ready.
He was so damn excited.
Let's take this to the fashion corner.
Well, yeah, we were talking about the dance, so
yeah, which is where like all of the fashion is.
Yeah, because even, you know, our grade 8s, 2 of our grade 8s crash the senior dance that happens at night, but there is the junior dance that happens during the day, and it's home to one of my favorite duos of the episode. I love the two, JT and Toby, in their Miami Vice outfits. They're so fucking cute.
Look so cute. Toby is really rocking that look too.
Yeah, he's made for shoulder pads.
I love it.
So JT's
wearing like the tan sport coat and this like bright blue Mirage t-shirt with like pink and yellow and orange palm trees. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
And then Toby's much more like slick,
which I think is his, like, it's a good look for him.
Yeah.
Like,
with his like blue sports coat and the rolled up sleeves and the red button up. And like, yeah, no, they look amazing. And then Liberty, girlfriend.
Yes. She wants to party all the time.
She
went all out.
Did she come to school with her hair looking like that, or did she like tease it in the bathroom?
I was gonna say, if that was achieved in the if that was achieved in the fucking bathroom in the middle of the school day, that's a rock star right there. Because like very minimal tools, like very little.
Do
product.
We see Liberty before the dance?
I think we see them the day before when they announce it on the student on like the morning announcements, but I don't think that's that same day.
No, because Emma's wearing the same sweater the whole day. Because I did like her sweater.
It's like that purple one. I like that polo too. Oh, okay, so it is the same day.
It is the same day, which means if we saw Liberty, she wasn't.
No, her hair. Yeah, her hair was not looking that. So
she
85.
She rocked up with like 8 cans of spray paint, hairspray. Fuck me.
Aquanet was on deck. Yes.
Wait, is Liberty Banksy?
I think Liberty's Banksy.
It's canon, but I feel like there's more fashion to talk about.
There is. So that was the junior dance, and then I actually, before we get to the senior dance, I like just her sleeveless, just spiked sleeveless, baby blue, like turnover, like sweater. I like that. I don't like the khakis she put with it because I don't really fuck with khakis.
I thought they worked. It was weird. I would not wear it, but because the khakis have a racing stripe.
Yes, I like the racing stripe.
Like, that is an outfit. That was
I like the racing
stripe. That together.
Yes, it's definitely a matching set.
Works. But then getting to the dance, I love Craig's Sid Vicious look.
I think at first time I saw the episode, I had to look up Sid Vicious, and I was like, oh.
Joey did too, apparently.
Right, Joey had to, like, who are you supposed to be? Like, Joey, you were there in, like, you were there in the 80s.
Yeah, but he wasn't very hip. The fedora,
yeah,
not a Sid Vicious look.
No, but it does work.
It works. The return of the iconic fedora. He just keeps it in. I'm surprised it wasn't in a hat box or something. But he kept like on the top shelf of the hat closet, of the coat closet.
It's actually like Degrassi is an ensemble show, except really the main character is the fedora. It's behind the scenes at all times. The mastermind behind everything.
I'm rewatching the scene right now. He just had a stack of hats in the closet.
Well, he doesn't have hair. When you're bald, hats are your hair, Charlie. I thought Terry's flash dance outfit was cute, but the wig was not right.
Yeah, I really want to know why they continually do Terry's
so dirty.
Yeah.
Because Terry is so unbelievably pretty that they have to downplay it and be like, she's fat and look at her taste in bad wigs.
And it's unfortunately very effective. I mean, next to her, Ashley, I don't know who she was trying to be, but like the gross me green comment, like just, I don't know why I took it and ran. I was like, okay, there's something, I'm going to unpack that comment later because there's something in it that's a clue about her outfit. And I don't think it is.
No, it's just
I don't think it
slang.
is.
It's just,
right.
I assumed that she was trying to look like Robert Smith from The Cure.
Oh. Is that what you were doing, Ashley?
I think it might have been. If
it wasn't that, it was kind of just like generic punk or alternative, I think.
Okay. Because like the hair, no, but the makeup, yes. The hair, she was like, I'm not doing that because I would like my hair to not look like a bird's nest. Everything else. But I did notice Manny's outfit, and I was pretty sure it was supposed to be pretty in pink. But her little hat was probably the biggest giveaway.
Manny's outfit was super, super adorable.
Mm-hmm. It was very her, and I like that it was so different from Emma's, that they gave her that opportunity to be something that like not only reflected her personality. Oh, there's a kitty cat.
Charlie, we're trying to do work here. You can't just put Squiggy Pop on screen.
I will always be distracted by a kitty cat.
And now we're gonna have to share an obligatory picture of Squiggy with this episode.
I mean, it's an era appropriate. He's from
the 80s. Squiggy Pop, yeah.
Squiggy Pop and David Bowie.
Are we ready to move on? Because I have a Heather Sinclair hypothesis.
Yeah, let's get into it.
So when Paige and Hazel are walking up to Degrassi, there are two kind of generic blonde girls standing there. One of them's wearing all black. Mm-hmm. And Paige comes over and is like, you didn't even dress up. And I think that's Heather Sinclair.
Yeah.
And so Paige is busy in the black. Yeah. Paige is busy being mean to Ashley right now. Mm-hmm. So she doesn't need to be mean to Heather Sinclair. I think that was Heather Sinclair.
I also have a Heather Sinclair hypothesis.
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
The fedora.
No, Charles, that doesn't make sense.
I would like to submit the fedora.
How could Joey's fedora not be Heather Sinclair? Have you ever seen?
Wait, is Heather Sinclair Banksy?
Definitely. The vibe I've been getting from editing this podcast is that Heather Sinclair is and isn't everyone in Degrassi.
A little bit.
I think Heather Sinclair is omnipresent.
I think the real Heather Sinclair is the friends we made along the way.
Like Joey's fedora.
We need to wrap up. Girls just want to have fun.
Pew, 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 pew.
Shots fired.
This is like my second favorite segment, but we obviously need to fire some shots. So I feel like right off the top, Paige Michaelchuk's coming in hot with the with telling Jimmy that she has seen better dancing at Heather Sinclair's grade 3 sock hop, re-spinners dancing. And I don't know if it's just if it's the sock hop for me or the line delivery, but I love it.
Yeah,
because she is the catalyst for the conflict in this episode via the shots fired. So obviously, we love Paige. Did you want to go in with your next one? You just want me to fire off all mine?
No, I can give one. So also in relation to spinner dancing, Jimmy says to him, "Spin. You move like a wounded polar bear, buddy." And there's something about the buddy at the end in particular that really drives the point home.
Okay, so my next shots fired was Emma speaking to Spike, Emma speaking to Spike and saying, it's like, she asked, how was the dance? She said, it sucked, thanks to the DJ. And Spike is so offended and says, wasn't Mr. Simpson the DJ? And Emma's like, yeah, that's kind of the point.
Emma is so petulant this episode.
Like, she wants you to know how upset she is about this. Not as upset, like, not so upset that she won't take her shoes off before jumping on her own fucking bed, though. And that is my next shots fired. Because, but just take your shoes off. But this is a gripe I have with, like, many a character in films and TV. I don't know, do people really wear shoes on their bed? Like, is that really a thing?
Another Emma at the dance. Snake comes over to the door when Liberty and Emma and Manny are walking in. And he's like, you guys ready to get down? And he goes, we're going to more like get lost.
Which is a zinger. It is a zinger. And I'll give her like, she keeps the zingers coming this episode. She's got the angst for you. But I have to fire a shot at the stock Michael Jackson music that Jimmy replaces Spinner's, like, he takes out Spinner's dance music and puts in this stock CD and then proceeds to, like, moonwalk, I don't know, like shaman, do a spin or two. It's just all bad because of the music, like the stock music that they weren't licensing any Michael Jackson music, so obviously they had to throw that stock like really cheesy ass music in there.
I want to fire one shot at Jimmy, not the last.
Right.
But when it's like right after he swaps out Spinner's music, he's like walking to the auditorium or the gym or whatever, and he just like to himself busts a Michael Jackson move or two, and it's so bad and so awkward.
Yes,
it's beautiful and I love it.
He leans heavily into this persona for, I mean,
he does like the leg kick and then he does the worst pirouette I've ever seen.
Jimmy cannot dance.
It's neither of them can. It's so funny that either of them thought that they were like suddenly going to be like, you've not shown having any interest in this, and it shows.
Marco doing the worm. Spinner's like, I got a robot. Like,
Marco obviously trains for this shit. This version of the character is in the gym at 8:00 in the morning.
He's like, no, he's not even. That's not how you train for a breakdancing competition. Haven't you ever seen Breakin or Breakin 2, Electric Boogaloo? I was spared. I used to babysit these 3 amazing little kids. You know the 3, Charlie. And they loved Breakin and Breakin 2, Electric Boogaloo. And like, at least once a month, I would have to watch it with these kids. And it was great. And they'd be like dancing the whole time. And like, it was hilarious. They're fun movies. But no, you don't go to the gym. You go to like Venice Beach, I think. And specifically, dance on cardboard boxes.
You go to Venice Beach, all ye break dancers. If you're still aspiring to break the
in 1980,
I was gonna say,
if you want to stand a chance, you get a plane ticket on a DeLorean and you go back in time.
You do that. You make that shit work.
The butts are flat. The hair is big.
Oh my gosh! Everybody's wearing booty shorts.
And the special effects are such where you can see the strings.
And the cocaine flows like a river.
I actually really wish men would wear like crop tops sweaters specifically.
God, bring back
like
crop
sweatshirts,
please.
I love that look. Mm-hmm. And already like the sexy shorts are back, like those like 4-inch inseam shorts are back. No, I want you guys to take it a step further. I want you to commit, and I want you to be out here in cropped sweatshirts. That's a good segue to Emma looking like Spike at the dance, and she's just had her little heart shot in the face, because Craig asks Manny to dance and not her. And in her effort to try to be, supportive, she tells Manny, tells them, "You two dance. I'll just stand here."
There's kind of a partial. I don't think it's a shots fired, but I do just want to close out. I love when Spike gets back, or when
Yes.
Emma gets back, and Spike comes to the room and just goes, "And why are you dressed like me?"
She says, "You're supposed to be in bed, not at a high school dance, dressed like me.
I wasn't dressed like
Thank
you. I
you.
was dressed like Cyndi Lauper.
Okay,
stop,
Emma.
girl, no one's no. let it die a dignified death. But yeah, girls just want to have fun.
And with that, let's talk about one of my favorite 80s songs, Karma Chameleon.
And
just kidding, we're not going to talk about the song.
We can't talk about the song, but
side note,
we can, but I really think that it's important. I don't know if we talked about it, but like all of these titles to these episodes are bomb ass songs, and if you don't know the songs, please look them up, because you can have a really bomb ass like Degrassi. Maybe we should make a Degrassi playlist.
We should.
All of the songs per season, because
Avis,
they all
a beautiful genius.
Because I like all of these songs are, and half the time they're relevant to the episode too.
So into Karma Chameleon.
Roses are red.
You don't get to read poems, Charlie.
Damn. You don't get to read poems.
No, Charlie. Do you want to take a poem? You want to switch it up and take a poem, Charlie?
Sure.
All right.
Roses are red. A girl likes Toby. Say what? Ash fucks up her second chance. Don't talk to me, you slut.
You should read them all the time.
Right? Is Charlie just our new resident poet laureate? Ashley spent the whole summer being in counseling and ostracized by her friends, except for Terry, who's a precious baby angel who Ashley does not deserve. But I digress. She sets her eyes on the prize and works on apologizing to all of the people that she wronged last year. Paige is reluctant, but eventually comes around, and Ashley is welcomed back into her friend group. Just as things are starting to look up, Ashley agrees to go on a date with Sean and is a raging bitch to Terry, permanently securing her status as an outcast. Toby meets a cute, funny, nerdy girl who might well be his first love, if her big brother Spinner doesn't rip out his bowel first.
Because that's what he says.
It is what he says, you're right.
I know. And then she repeats it.
I know, it's so good. Kendra's a badass.
I mean, this is the first mention of Kendra. I mean, presumably she's existed before now, but yeah.
Right, but she wouldn't have been at Degrassi because she's only a little baby grade 7.
Right, so this is the first, and she apparently is into anime, and so is Toby, although that was never, literally never mentioned as an interest of his before.
Toby's into anime. That's a big deal because it leads him to Kendra, who he is also into.
Mm-hmm.
Which Spinner
Toby's into anime. Girls aren't into anime. JT points that out. And then, what? A girl? Into anime? That's where the cringe started for me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Really? Yeah, they're very, they're not trying to smack you over the head with it or anything. No subtlety. I mean, it's still for 12 to 13-year-olds at this point, so they're abandoning subtlety. Yeah, I mean, I think that the plot is it's cute, but it's minor. Spinner obviously has to be the foreboding big brother.
There's so many great scenes of Spinner just standing in the distance menacingly.
They revert back to his whole bully thing from he was more of a bully last season, physical, because he was a little bit larger, and now he's like the jock bully, versus the class clown bully. So that's, and Kendra's not having any of the shit. She's just you need to stand up to my brother, grow a pair. And I'm like, Kendra, you're being a little insensitive.
It's not even about the yeah, she thinks it's ridiculous that he's scared of Spinner, but that's not what she's upset about. What she's upset about is the mixed signals that he's throwing, and the fact that he can't just say,
your brother threatened to kill my life.
Yeah, he does stand her up. I know they make a date to eat lunch so that they can hand off the CD, because they like
Mm-hmm.
the whole reason they meet is because I guess Snake has an amount of like CDs and shit in his library that he lends out to students, and
It's a
there was
CD-ROM.
a CD-ROM. That's important, right?
It was like an anime drawing CD-ROM that Snake had ordered for Toby, but then he gave it to Kendra first because he forgot he got it for Toby. I think Snake was matchmaking. A little meet cute.
If we have that, I have that headcanon about Quan like disliking Jimmy and Ash to the point where she's like setting them up for failure by throwing fucking Paige in the mix of all of these group assignments and partner projects. So it would be great to add Snake in there, that he's trying to matchmake for the better. He's like, I see these two students, they would never interact if they didn't. Like, they have this great thing in common. There are only two people in this school who like anime. Let's put them together.
Yeah, they're his biggest anime freaks. And yeah, I love so much that it's how to draw anime CD-ROM. I'm pretty sure
that little piece of paper.
I want to see Toby's notebook now.
Right.
See what he came up with after working.
It's probably that. Do you remember like when
project.
people would draw like that very angular face with the super small chin?
Yeah.
And then the big ol' eyes. Like, everybody knew how to draw anime. I could draw an anime face. I can draw exactly one anime face. And it reeks of 2003. But
well, you're a little 2000 and late, so let's keep talking about the episode.
Hurtful. Oh, Toby. I love, though, Kendra proves herself as a badass. It comes out that, like, what's going on. Spinner makes his peace with it, but it's like, if you break your heart, I'm going to break your bowel.
But of course he has to have that moment. He has to have that Toby moment where he's like, he turns away, and then he turns back. He's like, no, I'm not
He's like, I'm not a little bitch anymore.
He's like, you do realize I'll break your fucking face or whatever.
I do love too, Spinner. This is a great fucking threat. He's like, you talk to my sister again, I turn your glasses into contacts.
Yes.
No wonder.
He's got a very visual, like...
It's no wonder that Toby is scared.
Yeah, right. Like, that's my opinion. Like, he's a physically intimidating older guy who you didn't, like the girl of his dreams. It has to be the meanest guy in school, like the biggest bully in school's sister.
Right.
But, like, put yourself in his shoes, Kendra. Like, he doesn't want to get his ass handed to him in a lunch bag. Like,
right. But has we ever actually seen Spinner kick anybody's ass? No,
we've seen him egg Quan's car.
Right. No, you don't want to get in a fight with Sean. Don't date track.
Right.
To which I say, I'm not afraid of you, Sean Cameron. Fucking come at me.
Yeah, I think I could probably take Sean.
Sean Cameron, you come at my sister, you come at me. I will fucking turn your eyebrows inside out.
I will hold you down and pluck the shit out of your eyebrows, Sean. I will pluck the shit out of them.
Shave them off.
Oh my god.
I shaved.
But I love, all right, I want to jump to the like main plot, but before we do, I want to talk about, because I love Kendra in this moment. She kind of reminds me of my little sister. Spinner walks off and she's like, mess me around again and I'll rip out your bowel myself,
Isaacs, yeah.
Want to go get ice cream?
And he's like, I think I'm in love,
Yeah.
He's sprung.
He is so scare-roused at that moment.
He is, and I really think that's probably who he ended up marrying. Just a girl like him.
Honestly, right. I mean, honestly, that's the best case scenario for Toby, because like we've seen how his mom is. Mm-hmm. He's going to have a strong, solid, opinionated woman.
Mm-hmm.
He thought it was going to be Emma. Turns out,
and
he has a type. He has a very clear type.
One that's not toxic like his mom.
I have to say,
yeah,
everybody hates
Ashley. Everybody hates something, and it's Ashley.
Yes, that is true. Because we have a little bit of a lead into where I was just gonna say something that you're not gonna like, but
say it.
You know, they talk about some retro roller skating party. This is not what you're not gonna like, but they talk about some retro roller skating party on their way to class, and then Paige and Hazel go into media immersion. I think it's their homeroom now, and Ellie is there.
Yes.
Ellie is finally in the Degrassi universe, Caroline, and I know you hate her. And
you know what? We talked about this, and you know what? I think I'm going to get shots fired at me for this. But
pew pew.
I think it's not so much that I don't like Ellie, although there are things.
Oh, we did. I think we mentioned
I don't love Stacey Farber's acting, especially early on.
Yes, I think that's, yes.
And I don't like there's shit like when, spoiler alert, a couple of episodes later, somebody wants to get their belly button pierced. And Ellie has hers pierced and is over at this person's house while they're like asking their mom. And this person's like, Ellie has hers pierced. And Ellie just like doesn't say a word and just like lifts up her shirt. And it's just like weird direction and weird. It's not. I'm trying to show Ellie more grace this time around.
Okay, so that is that is going to be your attempt to show Ellie a little bit more grace.
That's
but no,
my attempt.
I do appreciate you.
I don't think she's Banksy.
I do appreciate you specifying that it's Stacey's acting, because I think just like us saying like Jake Epstein's acting in the last episode, like choices are made by actors when they're, and I mean she is just starting to play Ellie, and I think that once she gets into actual storylines for her character versus just being like a snarky foil to Paige, which honestly they continually have her do, I think that she's not my favorite actor, but I think I like her character a little bit more than I like the Stacey's acting. So that's probably where like we're about the opposite. Like I like Ellie as a character enough to kind of forgive some of the unfortunate choices that are made.
I can dig that, and I'm willing to like I said, I'm doing this rewatch trying to offer Ellie more grace. What?
You're like sound so.
You sound like you're doing a YouTube apology video.
You're like, I am, gonna try to get the word. Like this is.
I'm trying.
Are you in any amount of pain? Like, are you in any?
Are you?
Blink.
Caroline, blink once if you're safe, twice if you're not.
Oh God. Stacey Farber's in the corner with a gun.
With a loaded gun.
I take ready it back. You are Banksy.
Ready to take your ass out if you talk any more smack about her acting.
I'm giving Ellie a better chance. I'm trying.
Yeah. I mean, if anything,
we'll see how it goes.
If anything, she keeps Paige on her toes, which is what she's doing in this episode, which I love. She doesn't move because Paige tells her to move, which is refreshing.
Paige is like, "Are you hard of hearing?" And she's like, "Nope."
Like, but I'm me.
I kind of.
I'm Paige.
I kind of love the way they use Ellie in this episode because she just sort of appears.
She does.
Twice.
She really does.
It's just sort of like, hey guys.
And I think it's interesting that in Girls Just Want to Have Fun, Paige thinks that an 80s dance is lame. Like, because Jimmy and Spinner are all excited about the contest, and what does she say? She's like, take a downer, 80s dance. So she does not think the 80s are cool, even though she knows all the put downs of the 80s. But she's super into having a retro roller skating party.
Yeah, I think she says something, or someone says like shorts and
satin shorts.
Yeah,
Hazel says it, and Spinner and Jimmy are like, "Oh yeah,
we're there." Yeah, so it's and my question is, do they ever actually like they just bring it up, and do they ever actually go to this dance? Like we don't
just,
do we?
It's just set up for Paige to be shitty to Ashley.
Yeah.
Which is fine. She deserves it.
Ashley is, I mean, personally, I don't think it's an uncontroversial opinion. I just think that this episode, I'm wondering where the fuck her motivations are coming from and why okay, let me put in some effort to connect with my old friends so I can get my life back. But I want my cake and I want to eat it too. So let me also get everything I want all at once. Like, you could have waited, bitch, and maybe you would have gotten what you wanted.
I think this episode is very much like the crux of what I don't like about Ashley, because she's not apologizing because she feels bad. She's not even apologizing because she doesn't feel bad, but she knows that it's the right thing to do. Right. She's apologizing to manipulate the situation.
She wants her friends back.
Fuck you, why are you so mean to Terry all the time?
I know that we our season wrap up of season 1, we basically all agreed that Terry had some snaky shit with her. I feel like in this episode, it is kind of highlighted why. It's because Ashley is the OG snake, and Ashley is going to do whatever Ashley wants to do. Like, she's all sweet and, appealing to just being an outcast with Terry and making it seem like she's a martyr. And then she wants to all of a sudden like grow little devil horns again and wreak havoc and just try to manipulate everyone emotionally, because literally all she's doing is emotionally manipulating everyone around her. That little soft voice gets on my nerves.
Well, like, if you miss Jimmy so much, why would you even want to go out with Sean?
Exactly. It makes no sense unless you think about the fact that she's literally fueled off of the ego of it all, and like she's like on an egomaniacal like sort of trip. I really think that's probably the only way you could explain where she's coming from, because she's fueled off of results. Like, she wants her friends back, so she actually puts in some effort, and then she gets results with Paige. And she's like, oh, maybe I can do this with Jimmy too. Let's see if it works. And then she's seeing results in being manipulative. So she's like, let me ride this high and see how far I can go.
There's something I want to say too. I really loved Lauren Collins' acting as Paige in this episode. Yes. Like, there's when Ashley comes into class late and Paige moves her backpack for her. And Quan calls her out for trying to sneak into class, and
bitch.
Paige like takes a beat and then like leans over to Ashley and is like, we should hang a bell around Quan's neck because she's such a cow.
Yeah.
And there's just something, there's very genuine
waving the white flag and
about like waving the white flag by throwing the red flag at somebody else.
It's very Paige. Yes, on brand. It's very Paige.
And Lauren
it's her soft white underbelly. I love when she is being mean girl towards, like, you've been accepted back into the fold, so we're gonna make fun of people together. Isn't it so fun?
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's very human too.
Oh yeah, no, there's
no. I think like another human moment Paige has is just when she's sitting on the bench with Hazel and Spinner, and I think Jimmy's there too. Jimmy's there too, and she's just like, obviously looking very, not even insecure as Hazel indicates. I just think she's looking like stressed out, like she's a little bit worried about getting close to Ashley again, because Ashley genuinely hurt her. Like, she was called out in front of an entire party of people and called like by one of her best friends, even though they butt heads, and called a hag on two fronts.
Well, and it's interesting because like I feel like we're really shown in season 1, like Paige is a mean girl. And Ashley's like painted as like the nice girl, right? Whatever.
Yep.
But when you actually really sit back and examine both of them and their dynamic and everything, Paige puts on a front.
Oh yes.
But like any time really that we've seen so far where like somebody needs Paige to be great, she is. Usually that someone is Emma. I think her talents could be better used elsewhere, but maybe she's trying to get Emma not to suck.
Yeah.
But like, whereas Ashley, everything Ashley does is so calculated.
It is.
And
Paige does, she's not motivated that way.
And I think that's part of where Paige's hesitation and insecurity there comes from, is that like that Paige is painted as the bitch in a way that she's not.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody is like not aware of the like behind the scenes calculated manipulative shit that Ashley's doing. And Paige doesn't want to do that anymore. Like Paige is cool being the snarky mean girl, but she doesn't want to be the bad guy the way that she is when Ashley's telling the stories.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and as well, there's what motivates her to like pretty much immediately go, you know what, no, Ashley's not going to be a part of this, is that she thinks like Ashley's going to hurt Jimmy,
Mm-hmm.
Ashley's going to hurt
Yes.
us. It's a very compassionate motivation. It's not even just Paige centric. It's an interesting representation.
Yeah, she's being very protective
because it does kind of show more. Yeah, she's being protective, and it shows more like, okay, the bitch front really is just a mask that she wears for protection or to fit
or
in
just
or
whatever. She's good at being snarky.
But at her core, you see her giving a shit.
She's very good at being like, it's very
she's
good.
So
and
good
I mean, I so agree with that. Like I appreciate that they wanted to develop her character, because it is so many mean girls are just supposed to be mean girls, but like I like that it's not just one kind of mean girl. Also, like you have the outwardly snarky mean girl like Paige, but then you also have the manipulative smile in your face girl, but is going to work behind the scenes to tear you down, or even say shit when she gets ready to you that's off the cuff. Because
how many times now have we seen Ashley say horrible things to her best friend?
Right, who stood beside her and helped her pick her life up after she torpedoed it. You know, like, if anything, though Terry has had some snake moments, which I know we agreed with, and I am sticking by that, I still think that she is a good friend to Ashley, because Ashley shits on her. She's her punching bag. And just because she's not punching on her consistently doesn't mean that Terry hasn't taken some hits, just like, and become a casualty in whatever bullshit Ashley is on in that moment. And it's just like, no, Terry has the right to clap back the way she does and actually choose her own happiness, whether or not, like, at least.
Well, and there's that scene, you know, after Paige knows what's going on, Jimmy knows what's going on. Jimmy said, "Don't talk to me, slut." Which, side note, why is she then all of a sudden wearing a sweatshirt?
Oh my, I had to talk about this in my notes, because it's like, I really feel like, going back to how I said she was just on an egomaniacal sort of like fuel, like she was just fueled by the ego that trip. I really think that because she goes back to listening to that hyperpunk vagina music, basically, like she's super into dressing like how she was last year, because she's trying to flip the switch and just turn on her last year persona. And as soon as, you know, Paige gets wind of what she was doing with Sean via Terry, and she's ostracized from the lunch table, you know, there's literally,
no,
or no, it happens right before that. But wait, no, it's Jimmy, right? It's Jimmy's saying that she's a slut. That is right. She's like, "Hi, Jimmy, don't talk to me, slut." That's the first like tear down of her ego's gone now. She does not have like that energy where she was feeling like, "Oh, I'm last year Ashley, I have everything under control, everything is how it should be." Like, that's what she was fueled off of. And so she finds this random ass sweatshirt to hide herself because
that
she's
tracks.
she's just not feeling that power anymore. I would imagine, as someone who is only really fueled by like my own confidence when I get surges of it, like I'm not going to manipulate somebody to feel confident and feel like I can control them and our relationship. But that's obviously the kind of person that Ashley is. She needs to control the people around her, and she needs to know that everything is good, everything is on like level ground before she can feel any real confidence for herself. So she's just like zapped of her powers.
No, that makes sense, because I was like, did I miss something? Wherein, like, did Jimmy throw
a damn
soda
cover
on
up
her?
slut? Just throw a sweatshirt at her. I can see your shoulders. Cover the hell up. Ashley, this is probably the episode for me that cements her character into being like I don't blame people for socially outcasting you. It's because
No.
you just like who logically is going to think that this is going to go over well. This is how everything happened last time. You had you had your best friend Paige, who you butt heads with sometimes. You had a friend group. You had a boyfriend that you were kind of bored with, so you just decided to do
Like,
outlandish shit whenever you got ready. And same thing, Jimmy's always gonna pine after you. It's his toxic ass trait and his fatal flaw, and he literally cannot stop being a simp for your ass. So you know that he's just waiting for you to kind of grovel a little bit. And like, it didn't even take that much, just telling
and
him that
then,
she was in therapy all summer, and
right?
he
And then
takes her
immediately
back.
she's like, you know what? Let me go on a date with the
Right.
other boy.
Like, you didn't want to cool off. You had one day, bitch. You had one day.
It's ridiculous.
Back at your
This is
regular
officially,
life.
now that we are in season 2, this is officially an Ashley Kerwin slander podcast.
Yeah, all of the redeemability that she would on occasion show in season 1, I'm not going to say it's never going to happen again, but it's going to be very few and far between, because I really think the motivations she has here don't go away for a while, and it's just so glaring about the kind of person that she is. And
Yeah.
all these people around her, she doesn't even want to be friends with them to be friends with them. She wants to be friends with them to manipulate them like little chess pieces or dolls, whatever metaphor you want to use. I really think it's very glaring that she's just a really like a control freak.
But now instead she'll just get to be goth.
She will just get and she's got a new friend, Ellie.
Yay.
And I think that's probably one of the things that I dislike the most about Ellie, is that she's friends willingly and defends Ashley Kerwin.
Best friends.
Best friends. But I really do. I still like Ellie. You know, she's got other shit going on. But Ashley, just the fact that she leaves this episode with a friend after clearly showing that she's a shitbox.
Right.
Ellie, you could have made a better choice here. You know, she slid down the locker, and Ellie's just sitting there.
Let's
like,
trade
hey,
off.
need a friend?
I'll watch Degrassi trying to see the best in Ellie, and you watch Degrassi trying to see the worst in Ellie, and we'll meet in the middle and compare notes.
I'll take that. That's
maybe like once a week we can get together on Wednesdays and compare Ellie notes.
Yeah, I'm good with that, because I typically try to see the good in that girl.
She's gonna be around for a while, so
yeah, there's a lot of material.
Okay, so on that note, why don't we take a walk on down to the corner? The fashion corner.
I really liked Paige's paisley shirt. It's like pinkish, I think, and it's like a little belly shirt.
Was it paisley? I thought it was metallic. Are you talking about her picture day outfit?
Not the picture day outfit, although that is on there. No, it's like it has like a lacy, it's like a tank top. It has that little lacy neckline. She wears it in the very beginning of the episode, I believe.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. I thought that was
a cute, because I had a thing for paisley when it was when it's fashionable.
Also, speaking of Paige, her yearbook photo day her picture day outfit, that's what I meant to say.
Yes.
Is really cute. She's got the like metallic pink shirt with the like pink,
like
probably faux denim.
Faux denim, yeah. Faux denim. Her little spiral hair.
It's so bad, but like so of the times.
She looks like a little, like she's channeling Barbie. Like, it's so cute. It's so cute. I love the whole outfit. And like, I think even when she's just wearing like the lab coat in Miss Hatsalakos' class, like just her hair stands out. Then I'm like, oh, that is her picture day outfit with the pink later. So
I also loved Manny's picture day outfit, which was just like jeans and then this like peach sleeveless button up that was like tied at the waist. It was very cute and like breezy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Emma's is cute too. I mean, I think this is the first time we've seen her wear white since, like, in such a statement way. Maybe that's not true, but it's just like it's burned in my brain the last time she wore white, she had her period. And
No, it's
speaking of
definitely
white
very cute.
tees, Sean's ribbed t-shirt, it's boring as shit, but it looks good on him.
It's boring as shit, but it looks good on him. And much like his first date outfit, it's what
Yes,
a
it
kid like
reminds
Sean thinks is a nice
a
shirt.
nice shirt. Yep. Ellie's look like her black dyed tips, I think is probably temporary hair dye, but whatever the hell it is, and those braided hair clips that were just
There's a
inescapable.
lot going on Ellie's head.
And she's got them in little pigtail, like high up female Pennywise pigtails. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
very, it. I mean, it works for whatever she's got going on, but it's also like what possessed you to do this to your hair? But I think that's, I mean,
What I don't love is Terry's bandana.
I don't love that
I
either.
don't love a bandana tied like that to begin with.
Yeah, it's very lazy, and not too many other girls in the main cast do that, like rock that style. And I think maybe they do that to Manny like once, because like
Yeah.
I feel like Manny got thrown a bandana thrown on her at one point, but other than that, yeah, it's just very lazy, and it's like this is another crime against Terry, and the
Yeah.
fashion that they decide to dress her in. But I actually
Because
do
they do.
like,
It's like, yeah, it feels like they try to ugly Terry up.
yes. And put her in things that just they don't compliment her. I think maybe the
Mm-mm.
one shirt that I've seen this season that I don't, and I know we're not that far in, but I'm like she's been on the screen a lot. The white peasant blouse that she wears to picture day, I actually didn't
Mm-hmm.
hate. I did not hate it because the style of it is supposed to be a little poofy and like relaxed and hanging off of her, but that's the way they dress her all the time. So it's like at least this is the style
Right,
of the
right.
shirt.
It's also, to be fair, like having been a bigger girl at that point in
Mhm.
time, like you probably see memes about how, like, when you were a plus size girl in middle school, like in our
Yeah.
generation, you just dressed like a little HR representative.
Fashion Corner was a quick detour today. Yeah, I don't think not for this
Yeah,
episode. I mean, it was picture day, but I mean, it wasn't giving.
it wasn't.
So I'm good. I'm good to leave it in the rear view.
Heading to a bad part of town, apparently.
That part of town where shots are fired.
Pew, pew,
There was a
pew.
couple. I had a couple.
Yeah, I had two.
So my first one was just that it was a shot fired at Paige because she cannot whisper. In Kwan's class, she tries to whisper about Kwan being a cow and needed to hang a bell around her. And I mean, it's a quippy little line, but you're literally shouting.
Well, in that case, then shot fired at Kwan too, because she
Yeah.
didn't hear it.
Yes, I will fire. You know, I love firing shots at Kwan. I don't like her. Um, yes, so
Pew pew pew.
pew, pew.
I loved a shot fired by Paige, which was they're walking in. She's talking about her retro roller skating party, and Ashley's like, "That sounds cool." And Paige just turns in with all of that snide pageness. And just like, funny how something is cool one year and so totally uncool the next. Kind of like people.
Mm-hmm.
It's so mean.
It is mean.
And it gets worse too, because Ashley's like, "That's fine. I don't want to go to your dumb party. Or you don't have to invite me to your dumb party." And she's like, "Oh, really? I thought you could show up and take drugs and be awful." Like, Paige is hurt.
She's just so hurt. She is so fucking hurt. She is still in her like it's been a summer, and Paige is still in her feelings like it happened yesterday.
Well, exactly right, because what? We've been friends since second grade, Ashley, and you said something awful to me. Like, you were in the wrong.
Mm-hmm. And
It's
you
been a
should
whole
too.
summer.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been back for,
A
long enough
couple
for Craig's
weeks.
dad to beat him and have a dance.
And have a literal like
A
intervention and
themed
removal from his
dance.
home. And yes, a themed dance.
A sponsored themed dance.
There's been
And you
time.
have not even tried to apologize to me. Fuck you. And Paige is not holding back. What else you got, Avis?
Oh my gosh. So the line before this line, I'm not sure of what it is exactly, but I know that this line is said by JT in the hallway with Toby, and it's speaking about Spinner. And he's saying like, who knew that Kendra was related, or the girl of my dreams was related to Spinner Mason, and JT says, and so related to Sasquatch. And I love that he compares him to Sasquatch, because we have some very yes, it fits.
It was because JT's so little. I did have one more, but I think we should save it for last. It's everybody's shot fired in this episode.
You're right. So my last one is Jimmy confronts Sean at his locker and essentially says, "Stay away from Ashley. We're dating again." And Sean says, "Oh, that's that's interesting. I guess I'll have to ask her when I take her out on Friday." And it's just like, he's a grown man. He's like, I got your girl, and she's coming out with me on Friday. I don't know. It's funny.
They have this eyebrow off, or Jimmy tries, but then it's just like,
he's out eyebrowed.
You are out eyebrowed.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
And then of course,
just not your man enough for me. Sorry.
You're still enough for me, Jimmy. Oh my god. Fuck Ashley Kerwin. This is I'm so glad to be through season 1 and have officially shifted gears
and stop defending her ass.
And Ashley, I mean, she's defendable
she's defendable, but I'm glad that we have now turned the corner where she is no longer defendable.
Right, I was getting to a point where I was like, have I just been this internalized misogyny I've been carrying since I was 14?
We've got six more seasons to be thoroughly upset by this woman.
I'm upset. Ashley Kerwin on my screen, that's disrespect.
What happened is Ashley manipulated us into thinking she was forgivable.
Yeah, no, we were
in season 1.
We were manipulated.
The mask finally cracked.
Bitch, we won't be fooled again.
But so the last shot fired is Ashley goes to talk to Jimmy, not knowing that Jimmy knows that she's got a date with Sean because they just had an eyebrow off in the hallway. And Jimmy's ego is bruised already because he lost the eyebrows. And so Ashley's like, "Hey, Jimmy." And he goes, "Don't talk to me, you slut."
It's so funny. It's so sad.
It is so funny, but it's like,
damn.
It's also like, even though fuck Ashley so hard,
misogyny.
I can't imagine how heartbreaking that would have been in 9th grade.
Oh yeah, and it's not like they're in a private corner of a locker area. No, they are just in a populated classroom. There are many people spectating, and there's just really nowhere Ashley can go.
It hurts her so badly that she has to go incognito with a sweatshirt.
Throw on a sweatshirt.
Which is weird, because she should have just kept on what she was wearing since her top was camouflage.
Yep. I don't know. We didn't talk about it, but the guy at the end just telling her to smile. It's like, no, I'm not going to take the picture unless you smile. Shut the fuck up.
Well, and then there's no reason for a pretty girl to be.
Yeah, pretty girl like you. If you don't
to smile, you don't know my life.
You don't know me, sir.
I have just met the consequences of my actions, sir. I'm upset.
Jimmy calling me a slut, that's disrespect.
I think we can all agree that Ashley is definitely not Banksy. I'm sorry, Avis.
No, it's fine. It's the shots fired at that young man for wanting to be the girls smile guy. You want to die on that hill. I will that is probably the last relatable moment that I have with her, is just just take the picture.
You know what though? Instead of smiling, she's got this very poignant, like single tear rolling down her face photo. That's going to be like the cover of Ashley's memoir.
Yes. It's a good, I mean, to be fair, it is a good screen grab. If anyone, like, I am a firm believer in most people do not look attractive when they cry. And not saying that she looks attractive necessarily because she's not sobbing or anything yet. I need to see her sob to make that decision. But with that just single tear running down her face, I don't know. I buy it.
I'm sorry. Anybody can look lovely with a single tear running. That's like...
For me, I start getting a little trembly in my face. So they start twitching. I don't think it's cute. It's cute. I got the trembling lower lip.
Oh no, the trembling lower lip's adorable.
Wow, thank you. It's uncontrollable.
That screen grab is actually the cover of her first album, One Girl and a Keyboard.
You know, that is totally what she had named her first.
No, it's not. It's not. The cover of One Girl and a Keyboard, her first album, is a picture of her in full goth regalia at her keyboard, surrounded with like candles.
Oh no, not candles.
And then the school photo is the cover of her memoir, also titled One Girl and a Keyboard.
Oh.
Fuck Ashley Kerwin. We got a couple Huns, because you know I'm tracking the Huns.
Yes, thank you for that.
We have two this episode. When she asks Ellie to move and Ellie does not. And she says, Hun, maybe you didn't hear me. And go Ellie, because Ellie sassily just kind of looks at her and she's like, no, I heard you loud and clear. And it's great.
Yes, it is.
And then after she's like, you just can't sit with us, to Ashley. And Terry walks up and is like, what's that about? Ashley looked upset. Like, bitch, you started all this. It's like the rumor all over again.
It literally, the world's burning behind Terry, and she's like, huh? What happened? She lit the match.
Ashley looked sad.
At least this time, she didn't change any facts.
Right.
True.
But Paige starts off her whole thing about, like, there's 4 years of high school. Are you going to spend cool with us and whatever? She starts it with, hun, it's simple, really. And it's great. It's, as my Gen Z sibling would say, and I don't know if I'm quite using the terminology right, but it's serving cunt.
Oh my gosh.
I love Paige. Paige really starts coming into her own this season, and we got two Huns on the books for this episode, or this 2-pack, but they're both in this
Those were
episode.
2 great Huns. So.
They were 2 really good Huns.
Yes. Girls just want to have fun. Our shining stars and super bummers. Personally, this episode, I feel like there's just a clear.
This 2-pack really did not give a lot.
No.
For shining stars.
Like as far as people like definitively being standout, like good people, it wasn't as much of a slam dunk. For Girls Just Want to Have Fun, our shining stars and super bummers, I went with, as a shining star, I went with Snake. And same. I just think it's because, you know, he was keeping on with the keeping. He was not being shot down by Emma's being like a shitbox to him. Like, there are multiple opportunities for him to kind of be lesser than, and Snake is just not going to be lesser than. He's going to continue to show up and be enthusiastic. And I mean, that's honestly, though that may be the bare minimum, that's what this episode gave me.
No, I mean, I don't think it's even the bare minimum, though. Snake's doing everything he can to make sure that, like, Emma's comfortable with this, and, like, no, Snake's being really respectful.
Yeah, he is. He definitely is. He's not trying to be overbearing. He's trying to check in and, you know, still be the same guy, you know, still be consistent as her teacher and everything.
I would give an honorable mention to Manny, because I don't know. She likes Craig. She thinks that Craig likes Emma. She's totally fine with it. Like, she's hesitant when he asks her to dance instead of Emma. Like, Manny's a good friend. Plus, she looked so fucking cute.
She did, and I
Like
100%
pulling
agree
out
with that.
16 candles.
Is it 16 candles or is it 16 candles?
Or maybe
Or is
it's
it Pretty in Pink?
I don't know.
know.
But it's very Molly Ringwald. Clearly.
It's 100% Molly Ringwald.
It could be any of them. Really,
I was
except
gonna
for the
say, I
Breakfast
think
Club.
that the hat. Oh yeah, it's not the Breakfast Club, but I think it could be. You're right.
Although Claire might wear that horrible peplum jacket.
She would wear the jacket, but she would not wear that hat. She would not wear that hat.
Wear the hat.
And I'm not sure about those pants. I know they were they're like those culotte things.
Oh, were they culottes?
I think so.
I just assumed it was a skirt. Anyway, this is not fashion corner.
This
is
fashion
corner. Stars.
But yes, I agree with that. I 100%.
We didn't get a lot to work with this episode, so
I agree with that. Like, I mean, even though I do think that's part of her character to be just like Emma's sidekick, I do agree that, like we were saying earlier, she would have clapped for Emma if it was her who got asked to dance. Mm-hmm. She is
and waited so that Emma could tell her
right
of that
she's a genuine friend, and even if it is to her, at her expense, she is going to be there, and she's genuine. Mm-hmm. And it's like, not even she's going to be there to be snarky, like she's going to be there and be genuine because she is genuinely happy for Emma when she wins. Emma, Manny Santos out here.
For super bummers, I had Spinner and Jimmy, like the combination of them, like just fucking, this is tiresome. Pardon me, this is tiresome and it's pointless. Like, and and Spinner, that's not what racism is at all, even a little bit, even literally a little bit.
It's not. Yeah, they bum me out. I feel like they bum me out and Emma bum me out.
Oh yeah,
obviously.
Emma's my other one.
Yeah,
she's a super bummer this episode.
Yeah, they both, the three of them bum me out totally.
And then for Karma Chameleon, my shining star was Kendra. I loved her little bit of like, I'll rip out your bowel myself. Let's go get ice cream.
Yeah. She knows what she wants.
She's a confident young woman. She knows what she wants. I hope we get to see more of her as a character because I think she's really interesting. And then
I was thinking the same thing.
And then I feel like,
y'all, saddle up.
Who are your super bummers? I bet we have the same super bummers, or at least one of the same.
Okay, so Karma Chameleon. I obviously have to say it's Ashley. I mean, I think that's just a given.
It goes without saying.
She's just it's Ashley. But if I had to do like a secondary person, because just solely off of the bumming, I was bummed out by you, Jimmy. I'm gonna go Jimmy again. The slut. Slut.
That's 100% valid. See, I went with Spinner.
Oh, totally Spinner.
Machismo, like,
cockblocking.
How about instead of making decisions for your sister, you talk to her?
Yeah.
And be like, hey, so what's the deal with you and Toby? Like, he's a year older than you. What's going on? Is he going to respect you? Like,
yeah.
Rather than this bullshit, like, protect your sister's virtue shit bent Spinner.
It kind of seemed like that was their vetting process, though. Like, it almost read like that was agreed upon between the two of them.
Oh, Charlie's coming at it from a different angle. Okay, I'll bite on that. So you think that there was, like, because she was going into Degrassi for the first time, and Spinner, it's like, I want to make sure that anybody who dates you is not a little punk-ass bitch.
And as soon as Toby stood up for himself, Spinner was like, all right, just don't break her heart.
And I mean, I'll go with the vetting process, because it's like, if you can't stand up to me, then my sister's like, then you're not ready for my sister, because she will chew you up and spit you out. Like, she will,
and
like,
kind of from
she
the
can
same
handle
angle,
herself.
If you're not serious about my sister, you're not gonna stand up to me.
True.
Or you're not
you're not going to take that risk.
Okay, well then I take it back, Spinner. I'm really sorry. You were not a bummer.
If we're looking at it from that angle,
with your sister, I like that lens.
That's female empowerment, Mm-hmm. That's feminist icon Spinner Mason out here.
let's ask the most important question and wrap this up for the week. Does it go there?
Does it go there?
Does it go there?
So, what are your thoughts on Girls Just Want to Have Fun?
No, not really.
No.
But it's a good episode.
It's. Go ahead, Charlie. Sorry.
Can I ask a question that might refocus the does it go there a little?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Are we using the same or similar lens for season 2 that we talked about in the season 1 wrap up of, where the show's at right now? Does it go there?
I would say so.
Yeah, I would say so.
Like, we want to make sure that we're not comparing it to shit that happens farther down the line, that we're looking at it from the scope of this season.
I think an important thing to remember when asking does it go there is that the journey is as important as the destination.
Yeah.
And I think that these are that Girls Just Want to Have Fun is definitely a realistic and important part of the journey of like teenage girl. More the guy you like liking your friend thing than your mom dating your teacher thing, because that's not it's a less common experience, but also plenty of girls also, I'm sure, go through that.
Yeah, I think it's foundational. I think that, like, out of the 2-pack, like, I mean, obviously not to go out of format, but I feel like foundationally it still doesn't go anywhere, or doesn't go there, but it's still it's an episode that establishes several dynamics that will go on to have episodes that go there. Versus Karma Chameleon, I would say it is more of the go there episode, because there are actual like stakes that have been, like, there's a payoff of other storylines. Like, now we know that Paige and Ashley, they're not friends anymore. They won't be friends anymore.
Right. Well, and not only that, but like also just looking at, like, okay, obviously neither of these is as bad as school shootings or stabbings or whatever is going on. But in the scheme of like shit that can happen when you're that age, like, yeah, it sucks that your mom's dating your teacher and everything's changing and you don't know how to deal with that, and that's very real. But it is not the same as fucking up. And I mean, it's more than fucking up, because Ashley's very manipulative, and it's that she lost control of the situation. But having all of your friends, all of them, Paige isn't going to be her friend anymore. Jimmy is out. Spinner, it didn't really like her that much to begin with. He's definitely not going to be nice to her now. Fucking Tear Bear, even, is like, I can't. I'm done with you. Yeah. And that is devastating. Right. Especially when you're still that young. And Absolutely. So I think Karma Chameleon goes there more.
It goes there, right. That I think, just like thinking about the things that we do see, we see the beginning of Jimmy and Sean, Jimmy and Spinner, and their butting heads and like competing, which we did not really have last season. It's just like the stakes are going up and they are being escalated, and I think that that's more of what we're getting in Girls Just Want to Have Fun. We're getting the beginning of honestly Emma seeing Manny as not even competition, but someone who might get picked over her for a guy that she likes. It's just been Emma as the default prior to that.
Just that, but as more than just an extension of Emma.
Right. Like that. And that's for us too, because we as the audience have not seen that before. Like it's just like Manny exists as like her function is as an extension to Emma, and to reinforce things that Emma's feeling and thinking and worried about and all of that. But now it's like, okay, no, it's about Manny. And that is not obviously this is the door opening to that dynamic that is so like that's what people think about when they think about Degrassi a lot of the time, is Manny. So,
Mm-hmm.
and you are surprised. I'm surprised by how much she is underutilized in the first couple seasons, and just as like the star, or like the foil to the star of
One
Emma.
more point I wanted to
Yeah.
actually make. Through the lens of just season 2, Girls Just Want to Have Fun does not go there compared to child abuse.
Well, neither does Karma
No,
Chameleon.
no,
But that's the
doesn't.
thing, is like, if every episode was When Doves Cry, or
We'd have
Rock
What
This Town,
Happens
or
to
Time
Claire.
Stands Still, or
We'd
right,
we'd
is
have the boiling
Union.
point. What happened? That they really do start doing that, and it's
mm-hmm,
not any better.
right.
The breather
It's like,
episodes that we get, I think, makes sense. In it's like any teen drama is going to kind of do a similar format. You got to have your anchor episodes that
right, well, if you have a disaster every week, at some point it's no longer a disaster,
it's a
it's
disaster,
just
right?
Tuesday. On that note, I would like to say thanks for listening to your mom's Pahdcast. Join us next week for the most inappropriate improv class ever in weird science. And then we'll watch the boys take a joyride for a chance to win Kid Eldrick tickets in Drive.
This episode of Your Mom's Pahdcast was made possible in part by Elvis Costello, Overpriced School Pictures, and support from listeners like you. If you'd like to further support our show, you can follow our Facebook page and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at YMPadcast and TikTok at Your Mom's Padcast. You can also visit our website at www.padcast.com. Your Mom's Padcast is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you feel so inclined, subscriptions and reviews are another great way to support the show. If you'd like to support us financially, you can also subscribe to our Patreon at www.patreon.com/yourmomspadcast. And remember, that's Padcast. Pahdcast. Thank you.